This episode of Real Garbage is brought to you by the difference it feels writing with a pen versus a pencil.
This episode is also brought to you by shaving. I had to.
He did it!
This is Real Garbage.
I was trying to remember the name of the job where you assess handwriting.
Is it a calligrapher?
Calligraphologist?
Well, is calligraphy like writing, or is calligraphy when you draw like
Calligraphy
the
is
lines
like the
next to
Hobbit
each other?
writing. Calligraphy is,
well,
yeah.
that's
No, but I mean like the study of studying handwriting. So you look at and you're like, oh, that person is insecure because their O's are like open or some shit. Like typography.
like the dude from Catwoman.
Yeah.
Analyzing the handwriting.
Yeah.
Well's angry person here.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
She's kind of sexy because of the U's.
Because I was thinking about that on my way here because for the first time since junior high, I used a pencil to write my notes because I couldn't find a pen. And if you look at my notebook, like writing with pencil versus writing with pen, like the printing is so different. It looks like two different people.
Was it a sharpenable pencil or like a click pencil?
No, it was a sharpenable.
Do you have a pencil sharpener?
No.
How did you sharpen it? Knife?
Knife? No, I had a pack of pencils that were pre-sharpened.
Oh.
So I ran them down.
I only got 2 left. I hope I don't run out. Well,
yeah.
Nobody has a pencil sharpener.
No.
I have pencils, like charcoal pencils.
Ooh.
I have no sharpener.
No. Well, charcoal pencils, you just go in with a knife. You're like,
knife.
shing, shing.
Well, I think I did. I just think that everyone who ever owns a pencil sharpener, it just disappears at some point.
Yep.
Like,
I had, like, as Kevin says in The Office, thousands of them. Jim, scones.
Who was it? Was it your boyfriend's boyfriend's brother's grandparents where we were filming that film?
Oh, yeah.
They had an old school, hang out at the pencil sharpener and show off your new shoes style pencil sharpener.
Yes.
Check out my Bugle Boy jeans, fellas.
Look at my fucking new outfit.
Sun Ice jacket, bitch. All 80s stuff. Good God. No, writing with a pencil is weird.
No, it's so soft, and I just felt like I had no control over the letters. Like writing them, I was like, oh God.
Your hand is just writing by itself.
Yeah. Like Jim Carrey, it's like, the pen is blue. But yeah, I just felt like a kid and not in a good way.
Oh.
Like I was writing and I was like, oh, I don't want to write my notes like this, but I had no pen anywhere. It was a pen famine.
I got this really nice pack of pens from Walmart once. I don't know what it was about them, but just the way
they friggin' glided.
It was just, is it glided?
Glide?
It has to be glided. The way it glid across the
glid.
table. But they would just write so nice. This one's pretty good, but I have a feeling it's going to die soon. I need to replenish because if this one dies, I'm out.
There's nothing like finding a good pen and you're like, yeah.
And there's nothing worse than getting a pack of pens and realizing they all suck.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it.
You know those pens, I don't know what they are, what brand, where they came from, hell, most likely. But the ones where they look like regular nice ballpoints and then you unhook them and it's like a fucking needlepoint pen and it rips your paper and you're like carving the words in.
They actually were supposed to send those to the prisons as shivs, but they got mixed up. Guys are stabbing guys in prison like, God damn it, why won't this go in? And he's like, stop poking me. You know what? I have pretty good penmanship. I must say, like,
I do declare.
It's weird because sometimes I'll notice that my writing just doesn't feel as smooth. Like I don't know if it depends on the movie I'm watching or what I'm writing, but some days I have a weird style too. It's like I don't even complete my O's.
No, I don't dot my I's.
Oh, I dot my I's.
I don't dot anything. I don't dot my J's, my I's.
You cross the T's at least?
I cross the T's.
We don't even. Is it a capital I with no tops?
Or when I'm writing really quickly, and I'm writing conjugated word, like can't.
Mm-hmm.
I do the apostrophe, and then my T is always attached.
Oh, interesting.
It's just because my hand's lazy. I'm like, CAN apostrophe, and then I...
Do you curl your Y's and G's?
Yeah.
I don't.
See, okay, here's the thing. I don't sometimes when I'm doing pencil work, but my favorite thing is when the thing ends in a Y or a G, and I always add the cursive S.
Oh, so you can write in cursive.
Yeah.
That's like, you know what?
It was mandatorily taught in my school. We had duotangs, and we would have a cursing block, and I hated it. But
Well, you know what? I love it though, because now we know secret code. Because in 10 years, kids aren't going to understand what cursive is.
I can read cursive. It's just, I look like a stupid 10-year-old when I write some of it. My S's are fine. My R's are fine. Or when I'm writing, my E's are always attached to like the tail of my T, and then I go into the D.
We need to figure out what the name of the person that studies handwriting is.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see.
Analyze me.
I'd love for somebody to look at mine and be like, what does it say?
Yeah.
And they just nail it.
They just roast us in the comments.
Wow. How did you know?
I know.
Dicks. Any weekend plans?
Not yet. But I just finished like a week of staycation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Went tubing at Cowichan River, went up island, mini road trip.
Go to
We tried-
Coombs, see the goats.
We did that 2 summers ago, but
But you've seen them. You don't need to see them again.
Yeah.
It's just goats.
they're just fucking goats.
Just goats on a roof.
And we tried a new breakfast place every day.
Ooh. Have you ever been to Shine Cafe
No.
on Douglas Street? Shit. If you ever if this fucking pandemic is ever over.
If Douglas is safe.
Yeah, and you can go, and Blanchard. Sorry, Blanchard and Johnson.
Okay.
Right in the corner by the Backpacker. Well, not Backpackers Inn. There's some hostel there.
Yeah.
Island something.
Oh, yeah.
That little
The
breakfast
octopus.
place has the best Eggs Benedict I've ever had.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big sucker for eggs Benny. It's my favorite breakfast thing.
They have one, I think it's a Polish Benny. It's pierogies. Pierogi. Oh, my God.
Fuck yeah, you had me a Benny and pierogi.
I made my own pizza last night.
Ooh.
Got
Yum.
quick rise yeast this time. The dough ball got super big. I did like a whole cookie sheet size pizza almost right to the edges. I could have stretched it out more because it was still pretty thick.
Panormous.
It was awesome. But
Yum.
I'm throwing like pepperoni on there and cheese, and sausage I cooked, and bacon, onion, jalapeno. I'm like, I can't put any more stuff in there. Wait, pineapple too.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's weird because I need I think I need a better oven or like a dual, what's it called? Dual convection oven.
Yeah,
Cooks
convection.
top and bottom.
Yeah.
Because this thing, the crust was nice, but the toppings could have been a little more cooked.
Okay.
I could maybe switch it to broil next time.
This week when I was on staycation, I'm specifically modifying my vernacular to say staycation. When we were at Floyd's, the server was like, "Oh, like, what are you up to today?" And we were like, "Oh, nothing much. We're relaxing. Like, we're on vacation." And then her face was like, and I was like, "We live here. Like, we're on staycation.
Where?
We're Sydney. We're from Sydney, Victoria, not Australia." Like, as soon as I said that, I was like, "Fuck staycation." We haven't left the country in a year and a half, okay?
Meanwhile, she's walking in the back like, we've got two at table 7.
Yeah, she's like,
Get 'em.
fuck them. But then she was like, oh, okay. She's like, I'm not gonna get mad at you or anything. And I'm like, no, I just the where we are right now.
panic.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I mentioned last time I went up Mount Finn. I had 3 different sets of people ask my friend Joel and I, is this your first time going up here? Have you been up here before? 3 different sets of people. So I'm thinking, where the fuck are you guys from?
Yeah.
I didn't ask any of them because I'm like, I don't want to start that argument on
Yeah.
a mountaintop because they might be stronger than me.
Yeah. Throw you off.
You'll never know where we're from.
Or maybe they're either asking you guys because they're touristing, or they're asking you because they hike frequently and haven't seen you and they're freaked out.
No. No, it's because they all looked like they should not have been up there. There was one dude, I thought he was going to have a heart attack. Like this, there's a steep spot where you're going up the rocks and like you got to hand over hand so you don't fall backwards. And this dude's like wearing full slacks, like leather shoes, button up shirt, long sleeves,
my
and he's just sitting on the
God.
rock and his wife's a couple steps ahead of him. I'm like, Hey, how's it going? I'm like, wow. Joel's like, he looked like he was going to die. I'm like, he's fine.
Poor guy.
He started walking after we walked by. But man, he looked like, because it was hot. It was like 34 degrees that day.
Yeah.
And he was just dying.
Perfect day to be on
But
the
all these
water.
people were like, have you been up here before? Is there a way to go back down the other side? I'm like, yeah, there is. They're all asking me this too. I'm like, so you haven't been up here. You don't know about the back way. How many people asked you on the way up?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Get out of here.
They're just being like shooed to the top of the mountain. Get them out of here. Mm-hmm. It's just, it was a little odd.
I had someone the other day. Brandon and I were downtown eating somewhere. It was a lot of trying new restaurants. And we heard this lady at the table 6 feet away from us in a heavy, like, British accent. She's like, yes, we just moved here. And I was like, from where? From where?
See? We're outnumbered. We're outnumbered. There's too many idiots out there.
Yeah, like, what the
This
fuck?
is never going to go away. We're going to live in a perpetual pandemic.
Like, you shouldn't have just moved here. Fuck off. But B, if you have, shut the fuck up about it. You're making everyone around you nervous. Like,
We can't win.
fuck.
Can't win. It's the sad reality. This is like Battlestar. Everything's happened before and it'll happen again. The human nature doesn't change. We're all stupid. And like it's a groupthink mentality. As soon as enough people start thinking, it's like, well, you know what? Pff, whatever then. Like you go out to a pub now, it's like the freaking
Wild West.
it is like the Wild West. People fucking hugging each other and shaking hands and floating from table to table. Nobody's sanitizing their hands. I'm like, what the hell are you thinking? But it's because people are like, well, the experts don't know what they're talking about. So it doesn't even matter. I had oh my God. Okay. I normally don't argue with people on Facebook, but I had to.
Oh, is it that guy?
Oh, yeah. Idiot.
Fuck.
0 masks. 1 mask. 2 masks. Get it? Hey, Einstein.
Yeah.
I loved that. Hey, Einstein. It gets in through your eyes.
Yeah.
Fucking sheep. I'm like, what?
What? I
know.
loved your responses. You were like,
okay, professor.
so you're saying this gets through your eyeballs and infects you.
I said, does it come out of your eyeballs as well? He goes, no, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then he goes, it's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you're wearing a mask to prevent getting sick, then you're wasting your time and you're one of the sheep because you believe that. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like, what if I do have it and it takes 2 weeks for me to show symptoms and I'm sick and I wear a mask out even though I don't think I'm sick just to prevent other people from freaking out or maybe getting sick?
Yeah.
Why is that? Why is that being a sheep?
No, I know.
Why am I being a sheep if I'm like,
For
I just
protecting
want to
other
be,
people.
I just want to be nice to other people.
Yeah.
You fucking dick.
Like, my favorite thing is, this, I've seen it several times, this post of, if experts are wrong and I don't have to wear, like masks aren't preventing the spread of this, at most, I'm being inconvenienced by wearing a mask.
Yeah.
But if they're right, I'm not an asshole. Like, it
just comes down to just not being a piece of shit.
And
I don't wear mine at the store because I don't feel like I need to right now.
Yeah.
I don't feel sick. I don't feel like, and I keep my distance from people.
Yeah.
I'm not standing there talking in people's faces, standing next to them. And like there was a lady in there the other day who was coughing, but I turned around, she's wearing a mask. I'm like, good job. Like, she might be the only one in her house that can get out.
Yeah.
And I didn't care, but I was just like, thank you for wearing that mask.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then I kept an eye on her as I walked. I'm like, I'm going to go to the other till. I'm not going anywhere near you.
I'm finding so many older people are very cavalier about this. It didn't matter if on our staycation, if we were here or we had been somewhere up island. I don't know how many times I turned around and there was a person right up my ass crack behind me. And I would I'd look and they'd be there and I would avoid being face to face with them because they were so close, but I would loudly say, that's not 6 feet. And then some of them genuinely were like, oh, fuck, like that, it's just like this mentality thing of getting in line and being like, oh, genuinely like, shit, I didn't realize I'm dumb. But then other people were like, fucking rude. And I'm like, you're rude. Get out of my butthole.
This comes down to, I've had this conversation with lots of people. Everybody thinks they're the goddamn center of the universe. They really do. Everyone's like, I'm the most important thing in this planet.
Yeah.
This is my world. Stay out of my world. These are my rights. This, that, blah, blah, blah. It's like, fucking shut up. Like, you're not. You're just a speck in existence, same as all of us. We're all trying to make it through. Read the goddamn floors.
Yeah.
Look at the signs. And just, why do you want to stand that close to a stranger anyway?
Even before the pandemic, if people were that close behind me, I would turn to them and I'd be like, back off.
I just turn and pretend to sneeze in their face. Sorry.
Or like turn around and be like, I'm going to fart.
Just fart.
Yeah, and then they're like,
just fart. Like, fucking, there you go, buddy. You want to stand that close?
Yeah, there you go.
I just don't understand why people want to be that close to each other.
Right? I
Weird.
don't want to be that close to anyone on a regular day that I don't know.
I just get older and I just want to be away from more people. I want to get a house on a beach somewhere that looks like a Bond villain's castle.
And nobody comes in.
Down in Palm Beach or wherever the fuck this stupid movie was.
Oh, this one?
Yes.
This was
I was trying to transition into Weekend at Bernie's and I forgot it was at the Hamptons. But like his house looked like a Bond villain's house or something. It was fucking hideous.
Also, while we're talking about this house and just like Bond villain beach houses in general, I have never understood, and I know this isn't a movie thing because I've seen houses on the water driving on Lochside. I don't understand what the huge appeal is to having your house made up of mostly wall-to-wall glass and windows.
Silly.
I have never understood it. Windows, yes, they serve a purpose. You look outside them, they let in natural light. But fucking having your whole goddamn living room just glass, I'd be paranoid that someone would be like, that'd be easy to break into. And also, I would like the option in my home to walk around butt naked whenever I fucking want. But guess what? I can't do that when I'm living in a glass house.
Well, then you wouldn't live in a glass house with someone like Bernie who doesn't care who walks into his house.
That's true.
At any given time, doesn't give a shit who sees him. He's
That's
totally
true.
walking around there naked without the shades drawn. Come on.
Oh,
this
yeah.
guy was a piece of garbage.
So I had never seen this, but I knew the premise.
I don't remember actually watching it. I remember watching it when I was a kid, but I'd forgotten all of it.
Mm-hmm. So, like, I knew the premise. Some guy named Bernie died, and
Lomax.
two guys made him be alive, passable for the weekend. But I had no idea there was this underlying thing of drugs and murder and intrigue and mystery and the mob and what the hell?
Yeah, there was a lot more to it than I thought. I'll break this down for people if they haven't seen Weekend at Bernie's. So Weekend at Bernie's is a story about Bernie Lomax, Richard, and Larry. Bernie Lomax is the employer of Richard and Larry. Richard and Larry find a mistake in the books, $2 million that has been checks written twice, so there's $2 million missing. They find it, bring it to Mr. Lomax. He says, "Oh, great job, boys. Come down to my beach house for the weekend and I'll say thank you." And then we find out that Bernie Lomax he's dealing with the mob. He is signing the check for that $2 million. He's stealing money. The mob, and he's like, "Hey, mobsters, wipe these guys out." And they're like, "Fuck this guy. We're going to kill him instead."
Because he's fucking the mobster's girlfriend.
He's a piece of work, this guy. Then the two guys come down to the beach house. Bernie gets murdered, and then they decide, rather than calling the police right away and reporting him dead,
you were going to say stolen.
I was going to say stolen. I don't know why. Reported him stolen.
His
we
life
got a
was
missing
stolen.
dead body. They're like, "Wait, hold on. We can't call the cops. Let's just pretend he's still alive. We'll carry him around for a while just so they can have a great weekend with the girl that Richard's into."
Yeah.
Wait, yeah.
Yeah.
And party on the beach, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the premise of the movie. It's so fucking, when you really think about it, these two
Fucked up.
are sociopaths.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing to
using a dead body as a puppet at one point with strings attached to convince people he's alive. What the hell?
Oh, this movie is just a commentary on how awful old white rich people are. It is. None of them even fucking look at Bernie when they come into his house. They're like, "Hey, Bern, what's up, Bernie?" Then I'm like, he's a little slumped. He normally doesn't look like this, but he's fine. Give me some of his booze. And they're just like helping themselves to everything. Nobody notices for days. Nobody notices at all.
For the whole weekend.
Yeah, that Bernie Lomax is dead.
Yeah, they just think he's like fucking hammered and went too hard, which I guess he does because he has parties every fucking weekend at his beach house. But still, like, all these people, like, being his friends and invading his space, and they don't even realize their friend is dead. Like,
it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Really sad. Like, it's supposed to be a comedy, but the whole time I'm just going, oh,
yeah.
What is wrong with these people?
I remember when I turned 18, because I spent my 18th birthday in Alberta, because that's when you can party. And I bought, like, my first lottery ticket. I remember my grandma said to me, this is probably not going to happen, but if you win big, do not tell anybody, and do not have your photo taken for the thing and have it plastered everywhere. And I was like, why? If I win the lottery, I want everyone to know, like, fuck yeah. And she's like, if they know your name and what you look like, you can be kidnapped, blackmailed, robbed. And if people know you're rich, you're going to start getting a lot of random friends.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, shit, you're right. So, like, if I ever win the lottery, I mean, I would probably tell you, because I know you're not going to
be like,
blackmail or kidnap me.
Give me some money. I got to keep paying for this podcast.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'd be like, we'll just fucking boost this thing to the moon if I win the lottery. And I'd buy a house. And I'd buy you a house, maybe.
Oh, shit. Thank you.
I've already, like, made this plan in my mind. If I ever win
big, 5 million or more.
Yeah. If I ever win big, 5 mil or more, I'm buying Brandon and I our house. I was going to pay off my grandparents' mortgage, but they've already done that. So
nice.
Good. Yeah, good for them. But what am I supposed to do to you now? I'll just send them on a really nice, like, 2-week Hawaiian vacation once.
Yeah, just don't send them on a cruise.
No.
It's a death sentence. Here you go, Grandma and Grandpa.
I'd, like, put money in a trust for each of Brandon's brothers, so they had money to buy a house when they're ready, and then I'd, like, pay off Brandon's parents' mortgage, and then I would, like, buy you a house, buy my closest friends
Just
a
say,
house.
buy me a sweet fucking camper van that's all decked out.
Okay, I'd do that. Yeah, and then like, invest the rest, and then take my entire clan on a big fun vacation.
I figured I'd put as half of it, let's say it was like $10 million. $8 million is going to go into some sort of investment that's just going to make me $100,000 a year.
Yep.
And I'm just going to live off that. The other $2 million, I'm just going to buy a house, motorcycle, couple cars, probably a truck, like a good 4x4, something to camp in. And then just take off and camp for like a month or something.
Yeah.
And then just podcast for a living.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't make any money, who cares?
Right? You're set.
Living off my fucking interest, motherfuckers. Okay, so Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
This is from 1989. Another 1989 classic.
Yeah.
It got 54 and 57 on the Rotten Tomato meter. So it was like right down the middle.
Yeah.
And let's get right into it. Right off the hop. So another 80s long intro. A lot of music. These two, Richard and Larry, are working at some company. We don't even know what the company is.
It's like, yes, I think it's insurance, like life insurance policies and shit.
But Bernie's their boss, and he seems like a fucking like high-end.
Like Wall Street.
Yeah. He's got a huge office. Like, he's doing cocaine, so he's making a lot of money.
Yeah.
He's absolutely doing cocaine in the bathroom. Comes out.
When I saw him doing that, I was like, oh, that's how he dies. No.
Not even, yeah. So we don't know what these two do. They're just looking through numbers on what appears to be a weekend.
Yep. No, it totally is a weekend. It's they said it was a Sunday, because then they were at work the next day and were like, we were working on a Sunday.
Oh, that's right. I missed that part.
Which I like.
In a heat wave.
Yeah. If you're working full time, 40 hours a week, like, legally, can your boss make you work on the weekend if you're already capped out for hours?
It seems like in the movies, in the business world, they can make you work as much as you want. Like, it's almost like
you have doctor's hours. Like, you're on call all the time, but you're not paid for that.
It always seems like they just go, listen, we need you to come in on Saturday.
Yeah.
Catch up on some stuff.
The business world seems so scummy in film and TV.
Well, and that's the thing that I find fascinating about people who work in it. There's like, yes, sir, I will fucking do everything I have to. I've never understood that desire to like work in a, like, I guess if you want to be a lawyer or something, it's cool. You got to work your way up. But I just, that grind, that like in an office, in a cubicle for 40 to 55, 60 hours a week, just to make your way up the corporate ladder and kiss the asses of the boss that probably will never fucking promote you. I'm like, there's people out there that do that hate it. That
I know, they're so miserable.
It's nuts. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. And like these guys are working on a Sunday in a heat wave.
Yeah.
Then they're like, fuck it, let's go to the beach. I love their rooftop beach.
I know.
If it's really a heat wave, they would be dying up there.
And that pool would like melt into the tarmac.
Yeah. The tar on the roof was like bubbling. So it's hot enough. And Larry's going, oh, it's so hot up here. He's wearing a sweater.
Yeah.
He's wearing a full length sweater.
It's probably one of those cases where they were filming in New York on like in November.
We got to pretend to be hot when it's cold.
Yeah.
Acting's tough, man.
And then they're like walking to the rooftop to the beach. And some guy tries to rob them and is like, give me your money. And he's like, fuck off. And I'm like, you can't do that in New York. Like,
well, that dude should have been wearing a mask just to protect his face.
Yeah.
Or cover his face.
And I cannot imagine myself, some robber like holding me at gun or knife point, trying to rob me in a heat wave and me being like, fuck off and not dying.
It could be the attitude of New Yorkers where they're just like, listen, bud, fuck you. I've had guns pointed at me 7 times this week already.
That's a good point.
Could be.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do if somebody pointed a gun at me. I'd probably just be like, what do you want?
Yeah, I'd
Here's
be like,
my phone.
What the fuck?
Just don't look at the search history, please.
My favorite thing is if someone were like, give me your money, I'd be like, I don't have any.
Here's my credit card. It's full of debt.
Yeah.
You can pay the bills.
There you go. It's maxed. Yeah. Good luck.
Have fun.
You can pay it off and then, You
can't buy anything.
Yeah.
So watching a movie like this now in the period that we're in is so, it like not makes me uncomfortable, but it's like, wow, it's weird now. It's only been like, this is month 6 of this quarantine pandemic bullshit.
Yeah.
And seeing people cram into an elevator, like fill an elevator to the brim.
And now you can only have like 2 people in the elevator.
I wouldn't even want to be in the elevator with anybody.
No.
Actually, I can't say that. I was in an elevator a month ago, the Parkade. I was like, nah, what's the harm? There's no cases on the island right now. Let's get in here. She was nice. I faced this way.
Yeah.
She faced the other way.
You're like ass to ass, quick.
Cheek to cheek, bitch. So he's crushing on this chick, Gwen. And man, Kate, I gotta say, these 2 characters, not really likable.
No.
They were not likable at all.
Not like, and the writing and the way it was filmed, they were trying to make it so that Richard was the responsible, reliable, like good one, and Larry was the irresponsible, partier, bad one. But they were both shitty.
Yeah. They were like, there was no real extreme.
No.
Like they kind of like made Larry the sort of lukewarm, shitty person. And Richard wasn't that good.
No, he just
was a liar. And
yeah. Like at least Larry was like, yeah, fuck it. I am what I am.
So he's trying to talk to Gwen. They follow her, like stalk her.
Yeah, that's so creepy. And I just have to point out here, this doesn't have anything to do with following her. But on their way into the elevator, into the office, I forget when, like we know it's a heat wave, and there are 2 men walking wearing business shorts.
There's
wearing a suit and then suit shorts.
It actually is a thing.
Is it?
It is a thing.
What the hell?
Some guys can pull it off.
Formal shorts.
I've seen it done really well, but I've seen it done poorly as well.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say it's a heat wave, and I saw like 3 ladies wearing coats.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Full-length coats on the street. I'm like, that is not 35 degrees out there.
It's November, you fucks.
So there's some continuity issues there.
Mm-hmm. And then they go out for lunch, and this is just, I don't believe this whatsoever, and it's such a little nitpicky thing, but I gotta do it. Who the hell eats plain hot dogs?
Ew.
Who goes to a hot dog truck, especially in New York, for lunch and gets a fucking plain hot dog?
What?
You don't eat just the plain hoagie.
Give me a hot dog.
Hot dog, dry bun, no relish, no onions, no, what's that other stuff? The Polish
Mustard,
stuff.
Relish. Oh, sauerkraut.
Yes.
Sauerkraut. Okay, hold on. If you had all the toppings in front of you, everything you could put on a hot dog, what would you put on a hot dog?
Oh, fuck. Okay.
I'm saying not just like a regular hot dog.
No,
like
a
smoky.
hoagie.
A hoagie's a sandwich.
Really?
Smoky, you're thinking. A hoagie is a sandwich.
I've grown up to...
A hoagie is like a submarine sandwich.
No, stop.
Yeah.
I grew up like hoagies
correct me if
or
I'm
hot
wrong,
dogs.
listeners and viewers, but I'm pretty sure a hoagie is a sandwich.
Huh.
Yeah.
I have to look this up after.
We will
Because
look it up.
I've grown up thinking that a hoagie is like the stuffed, really meaty, huge hot dog. And then
Those are smokies.
a smoke. Well, no, I grew up with a smoky being the thing that's filled with cheese and stuff. And a hoagie is just
cheese-filled
a thick
Smokies.
hot dog.
It's just cheese-filled smokies.
Okay. Anyway, a smoky hoagie.
A smoky.
A smoky. A smogy.
Smoky.
I would put on chili, cheese, ketchup, mustard, and onions.
Damn.
Oh,
Probably do chili, cheese, onions, bacon.
oh yeah, yeah.
I
Yep.
can't leave out the bacon.
Yep.
With some mustard and maybe some sauerkraut. Things would be huge.
Yeah.
Man, I want hot dogs now.
Same. I get random cravings for hot dogs sometimes, and the Dairy Queen in Sydney used to sell hot dogs, but not anymore. And now the only place, because cooking a hot dog, I'm not going to boil it on the stove.
Ugh.
Those are rubbery and disgusting. I'm not going to microwave it.
Once you're over 13, you don't eat boiled hot dogs
No,
anymore.
you
That's
don't
just
eat
gross.
microwaved or boiled hot dogs. You either roast them over a campfire or you buy them
Or you barbecue them.
cooked. Well, yeah.
Grill them.
But I don't know how to work a barbecue. So
Do you have a barbecue?
Yeah.
YouTube it. It's super easy. Come on. Somebody please send Katie directions on how to use a barbecue. You're in your 20s. You're
recipe.
25. You should know how a barbecue is started, turns on, and is controlled.
The other day, I made lemon pepper chicken breast with cauliflower and steamed cauliflower and broccoli with cheese. That was fucking good.
Damn.
I
Broccoli's.
just cooked it on the stove.
I got my first 2 tomatoes out of the garden. I made a BLT yesterday.
Ooh, yum.
Well, BLK. It had,
Kale?
yes. And cheese. So BLCK. It was almost, well, like if you put avocado on there, I had a black.
I had a black. It was so good.
That's how many. I gotta get some avocado.
Yeah.
I'm way out there.
I'm really into avocado now. I used to hate avocado. The texture used to just disgust me because it was all mushy. But now I like it. I also love Brussels sprouts now. That's how I know
Brussels
I'm an
sprouts are great.
adult.
Yeah.
Like,
Welcome to adulthood. You enjoy the vegetables you thought you hated when you were a kid.
Yeah. Like Brussels sprouts sauteed in garlic butter. Fuck.
And then baked.
Hit me up with that. Yes. Baked Brussels sprouts at like Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Brand still hates them. I'll make them and he's like, my room smells like shit. I'm like, it's Brussels sprouts.
What are you cooking them in his room?
No, but I eat them in his room.
Oh. Tell him to fucking suck it.
You still good?
So he gets a dinner date with Gwen, and then that's a lot of pressure. A dinner date, like
Yeah.
coffee, a
Right?
drink maybe. You want to be able to escape
Yeah.
if it's not going well.
Abort.
Yeah, be like, oh shit, I'm just gonna pay for this one beer and I'm out of here because you're crazy.
Yeah. But I feel like that was the thing. Correct me if I'm
no,
wrong,
it was.
older listeners. But like that was the thing is you just went balls to the wall on the first date. Whereas now, like all of my first dates were like coffee or pizza or like a casual dinner at like 3, like a lunch.
See, I'll do one of those casual dates, but I'll still go balls to the wall. Like
What, order a latte?
No, just talk way too much and just tell them
Oh.
way too much about myself.
That's what I
It's
did.
usually scare them away.
Yeah, Bran and I, our first, like, for so long, we would just, like, our first date was Tim Hortons. We just grabbed coffee and talked. And then, like, every day we would go to Tim Hortons and, like, have hot chocolates and just talk for hours and then go on drives and go to the beach and then do the same thing. And then we went to Japanese Village for, like, our first official date.
That's a sweet spot. That's like the
Yeah, but they cook
Benihana?
in front of you. Yeah, Benihana.
they
Yeah.
do the onion fucking train.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I haven't been there in a while.
It's
Okay,
good.
back to this movie.
Yeah, so they,
Now it's the next day, the work day.
Yeah.
We meet Lomax. They're trying to get into Lomax's office, and he's like, fellas, come in later.
Yeah.
Way later. Bye.
like, what are you doing?
Nah, he's got a
rat?
weird. He sounds like Dan Aykroyd, and I cannot do
A
a, good Dan
little.
Aykroyd.
Yeah.
Tell me about these numbers. Now, show me the numbers. I'm going to be right here. All right, hold on. All right. So, yeah, he tells him to, like, fuck off. And then they come back later. Oh, I didn't write that down. They come back later. They're explaining to him where this money's missing. He just walks into the bathroom, does a rail, comes back out, and is like, what's going on? So like they show him. He's like, oh man, you guys found it. Great job. Come to my beach house for the weekend. So then the next thing you know, he's at the mob.
The mob for lunch.
Yeah, and he's
getting
like,
a foot job under the table.
oh my God, this chick was frisky.
Oh, that grossed me out.
That was a thing in the movies in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Was like the foot job under the table. It happened in lots of movies.
I know. That grosses me out.
Well, it was weird. She was like, I don't understand what people see in this Bernie.
So ballsy. She was like,
Yeah, but I don't understand what women see in this Bernie character.
he's rich.
Okay.
I don't know.
But like physically,
Coke.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, he's rich and he has coke.
You're everyone's best friend if you have a bag of Coke.
Maybe he has a big dick or he's good in bed. There are so many
Maybe.
exposed. There are so many guys that I know of that I know they're not good guys or they're like lazy or pieces of shit or don't, have jobs and are living off their parents or their significant others. And I'm just like sitting back and I'm like, you must have a huge hog or you're really fucking good in bed.
Why? Because they have good, like, hot girlfriends? Or
Yeah. Or just girlfriends in general.
I don't know what it is. I've still, like, for every day of my adult life, just see the, like, hottest women or, like, the sweetest girls I've ever met dating the biggest douchebags. And dating them for not, like, a short term, like, years.
That
like,
was me, like, 6-7 years ago.
Oh, my God. I don't know. I'm at the point now where I'm dating somebody and I'm like, oh, you're a terrible person.
Bye.
This ain't going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're not a good match. See you later. Hey, this is,
So many
it ain't going to work.
people are afraid of that. Like, so many people are afraid of admitting this isn't a good match. Like, it's like there's this big preconceived societal notion of I'm with this person. Well, I have to be with them for a certain amount of time, or, well, I have to do everything I can to like fix them or mold them into, my ideal partner. But it's just like, I learned that with my ex-boyfriend, like, hindsight's 20/20. And I was with him for probably like a year and a half, 2 years longer than I should have been. But I was just like, this is my first relationship. We have so much in common. Therefore, we should work. We're going to work. It's like, well, no, everything on paper could be fucking dope, but you're just not compatible. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And yeah, it sucks, especially if you've downed so much of your time with this person. But that's life. And now I'm with Brandon. It's great.
Yeah.
And so many people are afraid to be alone or afraid to admit that the person they're with isn't right for them. But it just comes down to like, do you really want to waste more of your time?
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
I'm so glad I didn't waste any more of my time, and he's probably so glad he didn't either.
Well, you're wasting their time too.
Yeah.
Like I've been with a few girls where it's like you date for a while and you're like, this isn't like just when I was younger. It's not going to work out.
Yeah.
We're not going to be together forever. But I'm like, I should just tell her now. This is fun. This is cool.
I'm comfortable.
Hang out for a while.
I'm getting sex on the
then
reg.
And after a while, it's like, fuck no, and it just ends badly. And you're like, oh, they were in love with me, and oh shit, I'm a dick.
Yeah.
So I can't do it anymore. I'm just like, no, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
No.
Now I just spend most of my time alone.
You can't.
And you know what? It's fine.
It's fine.
Watch a lot of TV.
Because we watch Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, Weekend at Bernie's. This movie was awesome. Leave bad.
Yeah,
it was all right.
So Bernie, Big Hog Bernie, or Good in
Big
Bed
Dick
Bernie,
Bernie.
Big Dick Bernie,
BDB.
getting a foot job under the table. And it's so blatant.
Yeah, she's sitting right next to him. And
Right.
you can't just like, you're going to be really good if you're.
She's sitting in between like Bernie and
your
her
body's moving too.
fucking boyfriend, even though she has a rock on. So I'm thinking like, is that her boyfriend or her fiance? Because she had an engagement ring.
He didn't say fiance.
No, he
so
didn't.
Maybe he had no intention of marrying her. That's exactly what we're talking about. He's like,
Yeah.
I should have told her a while, but then I proposed. God,
Yeah,
I'm an idiot.
fuck. But then, she's just playing with his marble set.
As he's like, you got to kill these two idiots because they're on to me.
And he's like, ah! Like he literally screams at the table at one point.
Yeah, no. What? Nothing. I got to go. See you later. Oh, she follows him outside, and the way she talks.
Come on, Bernie.
Bernie.
Bernie, let's Let's go to the house this weekend.
You said you were taking me there, Barney.
Come on, let's go.
Like that, right?
Like a mix of baby voice and vocal fry.
That accent, I think an accent would, smoking and an accent would, like that would ruin a date for me. She was like, oh my God,
Oh my
Jeff.
God, Jeff, you're so freaking hilarious.
I love sitting in the car. I gotta sit
You
out for a
just hear
second.
tires squealing.
Whoa. So now they go on their date. Mm-hmm. Yes, now they go on their date. And she's like, they're walking down the noisiest street possible. And she's like, oh, I'm so glad you asked me out, blah, blah, blah. We should go, like, he's like, oh, can we go somewhere quiet? And she's like, we should go to my place. And then this is where I think she's already said, or maybe she says next, like, oh, I like how you're just being yourself and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And she's like, do you have a place? He's like, yeah, I totally do.
Yeah.
He lives with his parents. Mm-hmm. Like, how old are these two supposed to be, Larry and Richard?
See, the way, like, their positions at the company and the way they act, I feel like they were intended to be mid-20s.
Mid-20s and still living at home with your parents.
Right? Well, Larry had his own place, a small apartment.
It's true.
But Richard still lived at home. But the way they looked, that's another thing. People, for some reason, looked way older in the 80s. Like
Jeff Speakman in The Perfect Weapon.
Yeah.
Like he was in his 40s. He was like 31.
Yeah. And even this is gonna be dark, but watching like true crime docs, it shows like flashes of victims' photos, and some of them are like black and white from the 50s or cold cases from the 50s or 70s. And, you know, they show a girl and she looks like she's in her 20s. And then the narrator's like, 13-year-old Marianne. And I was like, what? Holy shit. Like, what was happening back then? Because like, everyone looked so much older than they were.
I wonder what it was.
And now, everyone looks so much younger than they were.
Not everyone.
That's true.
I do have a friend named Tom. I don't know if he's ever going to listen to this, but I found out the other day he's 26 and he looks older than me. He looks like he's like 40. He's 26 years old. He goes, I have looked like this since I was 15.
Oh, wow.
I haven't been ID'd since I was 15. I'm like, wow, that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
like I'm
I still get
37 and I had someone just tell me the other day that thought I was 28. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Sweet, I'll take that then.
Yeah.
She goes, I'm so old. I'm like, how old are you? She's like, 25. I'm like, shut up.
Shut the fuck up.
How old are you? I'm like, 37. She's like, what? I'm like, how old do you think I was? She's like, 28. I'm like, fuck yes. I'll take it.
I had my coworker the other day. We were sitting in the break room and we were talking, and she was talking to me about how we're in this awkward phase where some of our friends are starting careers and have houses, and our other friends are, you know, doing the opposite, and we're in that middle period. And then I'm like, yeah, it's so weird. And she's like, how old are you? And I was like, 25. How old are you? And she's like, 25. And we like high-fived because
this isn't like the middle period. You're still in the beginning. Still in the start. 20s is just your start.
But we got so excited because we both thought like each other were younger than our age. And a lot of the people we work with are younger than us anyway. So we had just this whole time that we worked together assumed that each other was like 19, 20.
You're still so young though.
I don't feel like it.
Okay, was it just me or was the ADR off on what's her face? It may have just been when I was watching it on Stars, but the audio was not matching up at all in a lot of scenes.
She was like,
hers was bad.
Yeah, and this wasn't rented for free, downloaded.
Oh, I watched it on Stars.
Yeah,
I started a 30-day trial just to watch. Okay,
Yeah.
Sorry, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you know, this wasn't.
As usual, the audio was just horrible on her
really
video. I was like,
off.
what is going on? Like, I had to pause it, rewind it, see if it was. I'm like, nope, it's just her. Everyone else seemed all right.
She kind of looked like Denise Richards, just with
So,
like a
yeah,
square
she
jaw.
sort of did.
But
The square jaw. She was cute. But those were his parents. Yeah, should have just been honest. His dad was like walking around in his underwear.
yeah,
Then we
and
get.
he pretended his dad was his butler. Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck? That's so disrespectful.
He's like, how about I lay you out? I'm like, that's an 80s dad right there. How about I just kick the shit out of you for lipping me off in the middle of the night? Cool, Dad. Right on.
See you tomorrow.
So now they go. We got the weekend. So Bernie comes out to his place in the Hamptons. It's like, it is the ugliest house I've ever seen. From the outside, it looks like a giant, some sort of like half-built structure.
Lots of rich people have ugly things. They just
Figure if
think
you're rich, have some fucking taste. I guess it was the 80s.
that's the thing about, well, even rich people now, they buy ugly shit just because it's expensive. And they're like, yes, this shows my worth.
If I'm rich, I want something that, nothing gaudy. I want something that looks cool, is stylish, that's like, not super expensive. I just want something that's like practical.
I would buy a giant leather sectional.
Well, look, see the size of the fucking couch that motherfucker had in his house?
I know, that huge purple one.
You could seat 10 people on each side.
It was a giant horseshoe, and then he had giant ottomans that you could use as bed.
There were so many places to sit.
But the outside of the house looked astronomically smaller than the inside.
It did. No, the outside of it was just strange to me.
Yeah.
It's very odd. I didn't like it. It just, I don't even know what it looked like. I was trying to figure out what it looked like. Almost like the outside of a stadium.
Yeah.
Like there was some sort of sporting
with like a museum
area
vibe
inside.
too.
Oh, it's just ugly. And covered in windows.
You know what I don't understand too? Mind you, I have never ever been east. The furthest east I've ever been in Canada is Alberta. And in the States, like Nevada. I've never been easter.
I've been to the East Coast.
And
it's cool. It's nice.
So I don't understand the appeal of the Hamptons, but it didn't look that nice. We have way nicer beaches here.
It looked like a cold fall morning is what it looked like.
Yeah, it looked very brisk and overcast.
So Bernie gets to his place, and that's when Paulie calls him and is like, hey, what's going on? Because the mob have been like, nah, kill. They said kill Bernie and said he's getting greedy. He's being a little piece of shit.
Yeah.
So
he's getting foot jobs from a lady under the table.
Because he's fucking his girlfriend, Beyonce. So yeah, this Paulie shows up. I'm laughing because, so Bernie's writing up a suicide note, a murder-suicide note. He's got fingerprints all over the letter. Mm-hmm. Paulie shows up, stabs him in the ass with a needle full of poison.
Yeah.
And then bag of cocaine.
Yeah.
Fingerprints all over the cocaine. Like, not thinking that, okay, if there's an actual investigation to this man's death.
Mm-hmm. Which there would be because he's rich and white.
True, but the 911 operator in this town is useless.
That's true. They were called multiple times and not once did they follow up or...
Well, it was. They just called an operator, which apparently that's what you do in the 89. Because they're like, operator. Yeah, we need 911, please. Wow, they're busy. They're probably down on the beach somewhere. I'm like, what if this is an emergency?
Yeah, what if there's been a murder?
There's been a murder.
Like,
what was that from?
The Office.
Oh.
There's been a murder.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Caleb Crawdad.
The cops are useless there. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, they're getting fingerprints all over everything. Leaves them there. And then this is when the two idiots show up.
Yeah.
Tawny walks in, gets the boat keys. I love how people are just coming and going in this motherfucker's house.
I know.
They let themselves in. They party there. They don't clean up. They just leave. Like, Can you imagine having that kind of life? Mm-mm. That would be terrible.
That would make me anxious. Just having like people coming through my house all the time.
I just had my neighbor pop over. I was like, hello?
Yeah. That's another reason why we've had this conversation before. That's another reason why I don't want to know my neighbors. I'll know of them. I'll say hi to them, but I don't want to know them well enough that they feel they can just come over and be like, howdy, neighbor.
Oh, well, I don't
get
that, but I do like knowing my neighbors. It's sweet.
No, I do too. Like, I'll talk to them, but I don't want to be to a point where they just are at my house.
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
And I'm like,
I wouldn't do that to people. That's weird. I don't like
but
popping into people's.
But some people do that. It's so weird.
Yeah, that's weird. I couldn't do this.
No, I have this thing where if someone's like, "Oh, come do this," I'm like, "Am I specifically invited? Because if not, I'm not going."
Mm-hmm. I've been at weird events like that where you're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go."
Be here. I get the vibe that someone in the corner is like, why did you fucking invite someone?
I just try not to go to things or places or hang out with people.
Yeah.
So
people, places, things, no.
So they scope out his place. They find him dead. And I love how their first reaction is like, well, let's pick him up and get the blood flowing.
Yeah.
Because Larry says he's dead.
Yeah.
They don't check his pulse. They don't do anything. They just
Not
pick him
later.
up, drag him around the house, get him on the couch, crash him into shit. Mm-hmm. And then they find a bag of cocaine in his pocket with the needle. And they assume, oh shit, he overdosed. He shot up with it. I'm like, well, come on, morons. You should know if he overdosed on some sort of intravenous drug, he would have the needle in his arm.
Yeah.
and the drugs would be everywhere, and there'd be a spoon and a lighter
Yep.
and everything you need to do heroin or shoot cocaine, whatever it is.
And with an overdose, like, I'm pretty sure, I don't know anything about this, but wouldn't you, like, there'd be other signs if he OD'd.
Well, he'd be probably foaming at the mouth, eyes rolled back.
Yeah.
They'd probably take the sunglasses off to look at his eyes.
Yeah.
But these two are just morons.
Also, I will say, I loved the commitment on the guy who played Bernie's part.
Oh, yeah.
Keeping his eyes open with the sunglasses on. Because there were shots where the light was permeating the sunglasses and you could see his eyes and he was just like,
Yeah, he did a great job of playing dead.
yeah.
And he just, like, dude's flexible as hell.
Yeah.
Because they
He
put
was
him into some
limber.
weird positions and crushed him into stuff.
Yeah, even on the couch, he was like head first at one point and he was like,
Yeah, I'm just watching that like, man, is that a dummy or is it him? It was totally him.
yeah.
So everyone just walks in. Oh, yeah, the two muscle dummies walking around. They start giving him a massage.
Oh, yeah.
Like, by this point, he's been dead for like probably an hour, a little bit. I'm assuming you looked into the
I
decomposition of a body.
Did.
Perfect. I knew
My
you would.
search history is probably going to be flagged now. So, rigor mortis takes 1 to 6 hours. So, by that point, when everyone comes over and it's party time, he'd be at least stiffening up. So, the guy massaging him, making a comment about how loose he is, no.
He'd be stiff.
Also, I Googled when bodies can smell. So please don't flag me. It was for research for a movie. All right. If it's very hot, which it was a heat wave, bodies can start giving off an odor 10 to 12 hours after death.
Ugh.
And
Yeah, he'd start stinking, I would assume.
if it's humid, it can happen even quicker than 10 to 12 hours. And then bodies bloat 24 to 72 hours after death. So by the next day, Bernie's body would not look like him. Yep, that was my research. So by this point at the party, he should be stiff and hard, not limber, and he should be starting to smell because it's hot and humid.
And somebody,
And he would be discolored.
one person should have known, especially the guy trying to buy his Porsche.
Yeah.
Talking to him multiple times, grabbing him. Nobody at all goes like, he's been slumped for a while. His head's lolling back and forth. What's wrong with him? He should have been losing his color as well, I would
Yep,
assume, or
yep.
changing color, but he still
Yeah.
looked tanned.
Yep.
This is like, I told somebody I was watching this, like, you just gotta just suspend your belief. I'm like, no, that's not what I
No,
do.
yeah.
This is an unbelievable movie. This
Yeah.
would not make sense. Plus, that's not the part I focused on the most. My main focus was on the fact that these two jackasses walked around with a corpse of their boss to get laid, to just party.
Yeah, to live the good life.
Yeah, for a weekend.
Yeah.
Not like imagine if you saw a dead body and you just looked at it and went like, I'm not going to tell anybody about that. You'd feel a little guilty.
Yeah.
If you found somebody dead in a house, walked in there and then saw a bunch of people coming up and been like, oh shit, do I want to party with these people? I'll just pretend this guy's alive. Like that takes a sociopathic brain.
Yeah. To even think that.
Oh man, like by the second day, I think the guilt would just be killing me. Like
Yeah.
I'd be like, we need to report this now. And they're like, no, I'm going to go hang out with Gwen.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are both pieces of shit. This is the story of two horrible sociopathic wannabe businessmen who towed around their corpse of a boss.
And this, like, they decided to do this before they find out that Bernie was putting a hit out on them.
Yeah. So they had
Like,
no reason to.
yeah.
Just to be popular for a weekend.
Yeah.
It's sad.
I know.
It's amazing when you care about what other people think, the lengths you'll go to.
To impress them.
Gwen shows up and he's like, oh, can you forgive me? She's like, all right, fine.
All right,
Like,
fine.
super quick. Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, the drunk old white guys
Oh, God.
were just dirty fucking perverts. Like, man, they got away with a lot of shit in movies in the 80s. Some of the stuff coming out of these guys, like what the one guy says, like, hey, doll, love that outfit. It'd be fucking way better looking crumpled up in the corner of my bedroom.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you're disgusting.
It's always the really disgusting, ugly guys that are the most vocal about, yeah, you come over back to my place, fucking you'll have the ride of your life. And it's like, what on God's earth would make me think that I would ever, or any woman would ever go with you.
Money and cocaine.
Yeah, true.
As we've seen in this movie, Bernie's got money and cocaine.
Yeah. And probably a huge dead dick.
A big ass rigor mortis dick. So they drop him over the edge of the balcony, and they're like,
he would be obliterated. His limbs would be smashed.
It's a good 15-foot drop onto the sand.
Yeah.
Drop him in the sand. He's like, oh shit, there's Gwen. He's like, listen, give me half an hour.
Yeah.
We'll leave him there. He's fine.
And he gets taken away by the ocean.
There's no way the tide came up that fast.
No.
Like he said half an hour. So if he stuck to half an hour, she was walking above the tide line. They were 50 yards away.
Yeah.
There's no way this isn't Rathtrevor Park. It's not like comes up in 2 minutes. Nobody will get that reference listing. Rathtrevor what? Oh yeah, and then all of a sudden he gets swept away. There's no way they would have got that body back.
Absolutely not.
Body would have been gone. Seagulls would have started picking at it. A shark may have eaten it.
Yeah, it would have been taken by a creature in the ocean.
No, and I'm
not just floating back up onto the beach conveniently when Gwen and Richard are making out.
Right next to them too. He's like, oh, I can't do this. They could have just left him.
Yeah.
Problem would have been solved.
Totally.
Oh no, Bernie fell off the balcony and drowned.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, they had to get his body.
Yeah, I don't understand why. They could have just left the body out there. They
Yeah.
would have found it the next day. Somebody would have.
Yeah.
And then the party would have continued. Because these people don't care. Oh no, Bernie's
Don't give a
dead.
shit.
But everybody seemed to love him. That's what I find. No, I've already riffed about this. They're just sad people.
Yeah.
They're sad, horrible people who don't care about Bernie, but they pretend they do. Oh, fucking Richard, this idiot. They go up to the top of the lighthouse.
Oh,
I wonder if this guy stares into solar eclipses too.
Probably.
Like, oh,
idiot.
gee, how does a lighthouse work? Brrr.
Yeah,
Like,
and then he defies death, falling down all those stairs.
you ever tried to drag somebody drunk,
Yeah.
somebody sleeping?
Yep. They're
You'd be
heavy.
exhausted. These two would be exhausted.
Yeah,
Like,
dragging that dead weight around all day.
yeah, because they're not in shape at all.
No.
These two, they're
And
both. Even those two like dicks, muscle guys in red shirts are like, oh, you got to lift some weights there, bro.
Yeah.
As they walked into the party, we got to pump some iron there, bro. It was like a Arnie ripoff or something.
I had to look it up. I was like, is that Arnold Schwarzenegger in an uncredited role? No.
No, at this point,
sounded
he'd
like
already
it.
done like Conan the
Terminator,
Barbarian,
yeah.
Terminator.
That's a good point.
Conan the Destroyer. He'd just been pumping out movies here. He's like,
Yeah.
Weekend at Bernie's. Weekend at Bernie's. No.
No.
The Terminator 2. 3 years from now.
Judgment Day.
In the future.
No, Judgment Day was 97.
No.
Yeah.
97.
Yeah.
T2.
I swear to God, it was 97.
I would look this up.
Evan, tell me. Yeah, look it up. Probably.
1991.
Damn it! Evan's roasting me right now.
1991. And I'm pretty sure like the official release date was 92. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, no, I didn't watch that in high school. I watched that as a child.
Okay.
I was a 10-year-old.
92. Maybe I'm thinking of 97 because I watched it as a kid.
Yeah.
Well, I'm also or also because like T2 was one of the movies I watched at my lake house as a kid. It was Jurassic Park, Terminator, and Terminator 2, and Star Wars. So all of those are lumped into one era time period for me.
Yes. But yeah, Arnie at this point was like
Was
way
huge.
too fucking big for this.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, oh yes, the night ends. Everybody's gone. His woman.
Oh,
let's just call him-
God.
I am his woman. Can't remember her accent.
I'm his
Boiny.
woman.
I'm his woman. She's okay.
Ew.
And she goes upstairs and has sex with a corpse.
Yeah, like is his dick rigor
Well,
mortis is hard?
it-
Like what the fuck?
It would, but how would you, like, maybe you're a little drunk, but how would you not notice the corpse is ice cold?
And probably stinky because it was just in the ocean.
Stinky. There'd be like, I think you shit yourself at one point after you die.
Yeah,
Your bowels
you-
empty,
yeah,
your bladder empties.
Yeah.
He'd be covered in piss and shit.
Yeah.
He would stink. He'd be cold. She just fucks him anyway. Comes downstairs starts
That
like,
was the best ever.
la da da dee, la da da da. That was another thing in the 80s and 90s where people doing like la da dee,
After
la
sex
da
and smoking,
da da da. Like,
that was the best it's ever been.
it's never been better.
Oh my God, she is
Gross.
mentally unhinged.
Had sex with a corpse. Now where are we?
Disgusting.
They've got him rigged up to. Oh my God.
string.
Bernie's sitting in a chair wearing the same thing he's been wearing
Yep.
the whole weekend so far, a windbreaker. Mm-hmm. And they've got him rigged up. So, hey, how you doing? Waving at people on the beach. I loved, I don't know what it was about women in the 80s, but it was almost like they had longer butts.
Yeah.
Like 80s long butts.
Yeah. Like
Was it
not
that-
super like plump and round, but like just long. And
like-
also with the really high-waisted swimsuits.
That's what made him look even longer.
Yeah.
Was the high-waisted swimsuits.
Yeah.
Larry's hitting flies because now I'm like, there's finally
yeah.
flies. Like 24 hours later, there's finally flies. And
So by that point, he should stink.
when was the last time you saw a fly swatter?
Oh my God.
Yeah. I
don't know.
have not seen a fly swatter at a person's house
In years.
probably 10 years.
That's because people don't leave their windows open anymore.
Maybe fly swatters don't actually exist in this universe.
Stop. It's a Mandela effect. Fucking stop.
Where did all the fly swatters go?
Oh my God.
I seriously haven't seen one. I saw him swat that fly and I was like, wait, what?
Or I've seen electric fly swatters where they fucking
You ever see somebody
electric chair the...
hit themselves with them?
No.
I watched somebody hit their nose with it. Like, why? I just want to see how much it hurts. And they're like, zap their fucking
Oh
face.
my God.
We're outnumbered by the idiots.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, yeah, the operator. They call the operator. This is where they finally decide to call the cops. And this is where it's like, operator, oh, yeah, the one police officer's down on the beach.
He's busy.
He'll call you back. Mike Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski.
You didn't turn in your paperwork. So then Gwen walks in. They hang up the phone again. So it's like, let's just keep this fucking charade going. They tell her.
Yeah, and she's like...
He's dead. He's dead.
Just
They're
like your parents and your aunt, you fucking liar.
I don't know why she wouldn't just go, okay, prove. Oh, yeah, she did say prove it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Larry's carting him off to the side of the same place they dropped him on the beach the other day.
And they dropped him again.
And they dropped him right onto, what's his face? Polly.
Yeah, the mob murder.
Oh, yeah, because at this point, Polly saw
Bernie.
the girl banging the corpse and is
Oh,
like,
yeah.
he's still alive. They just had sex. And I'm like, well, like, you'd think, like, you'd be watching this going, oh, he's not moving.
Yeah.
Like, at all. And if you saw him walking with these two, he's walking very unnaturally. Look, he's walking under his own power.
Yeah.
This hitman's an idiot. Straight up idiot.
Yeah. Well, we knew that from the fact that, like, he left his fingerprints at the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like.
And was it him at the table that was like, I'm a little rusty, but I'll get there or something?
I think so.
Okay, so we're supposed to think like he doesn't have it like he used to.
Yeah.
But he still knows he injected him with poison and killed him.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't understand why he's dumb enough to be like, wait a minute, hold on. It didn't work.
Yeah.
Then chokes a corpse and is like, yeah, he's dead. Okay, I got him this time. Then he still believes that he's still alive later.
And then this asshole kid buries him in the sand.
Kid was a piece of shit.
Yeah, that kid was not raised properly.
Buries him up to his neck and is like, kiss my ass, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
As he runs away.
And then they're in the house and they like hear gunshots and they get down because they think it's because by this point they had discovered the murder-suicide note and had found out that Bernie was plotting to kill them. And then they were like, well, fuck you. We're going to keep exploiting your bloated ass, bitch.
But the excuse he had, it's like, oh, I can't take it anymore. I've saved up this money for my sex change operation.
Yeah, what the hell?
And Larry can't take it or something, so he killed me and then killed himself. I'm like, what? Doesn't make any sense.
No.
It's just like, who's going to believe that? Like, well,
Yeah.
this is a cut and dry case. Take him away, toys.
So weird. Maybe the one police officer was being paid off by Bernie, though.
It's all conspiracy. This is actually Billionaire's Row, where Epstein lives. He's just down the road. This place is just full of fucking assholes.
Yeah. And so then they start hearing gunshots, thinking it's the mobsters coming to kill them. And it's this asshole kid.
Firing like full-on blanks, it sounded like full-on gunshots. So like he was firing blanks. Which I'm like, so he has like a real gun.
Yeah.
Just with fake bullets.
Like, where did you get that?
These horrible parents.
Kid is evil.
They're passed out or all coked up somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Take the gun, kid. Go scare the neighbors.
And then they lift up Bernie at one point, and then his toupee falls off, and they're all like,
Oh, Jesus.
what the hell? And then they staple it back onto his head.
With a staple gun.
Yeah. Like,
'Cause every rich guy has a staple gun in his kitchen.
but also now that you've committed to doing this and you'll call the cops when your fun weekend is over, when they take the body away, they're gonna do an examination and be like, why the fuck is his hair stapled to his head? He didn't do that himself.
They're going to have a ton of questions.
Yeah.
Why has he been decomposing for the last 48 hours? When did you find he was dead? And then start asking people around, like, have you seen Bernie? Yeah, Bernie's been hanging out with these two for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
These two are going to get sentenced to life for, like, meddling with a corpse and impersonating, using a dead body to impersonate a living person.
There's a charge for that.
Desecrating a corpse?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Desecration of a corpse is what they're getting.
Yeah.
Because that's what this is.
Yeah.
Then they figure out, oh, Bernie has a boat. We can get out of here on the boat because they missed the ferry. They drive him all the way to the ferry with the hitman chasing him. Is the hitman chasing him?
Yeah.
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 And they say, oh, God. They lose him by turning in a
Looping
circle.
around.
Yep. And they get behind him. And he's like, oh, man, yeah, this guy's an idiot.
So dumb. And then they get to his boat and they're trying to figure out how to drive it and they're crashing it into other yachts. Like how...
And still, nobody says anything.
No.
Like, hey, what are you doing? Is that Bernie?
Yeah.
What's Bernie doing all slumped in the back of the seat?
Why
He's looked like
isn't
that
he
for a
driving?
whole weekend.
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense.
And then they're just driving around aimlessly in the ocean. And then they run out of gas. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
And they end up back at Bernie's house, which makes no sense. I'm like, where were you guys going in the first place?
Yeah.
Where, like, I thought you were trying to get back to where the ferry comes from.
And they end up back at Bernie's house by throwing his body into the ocean and using it as a raft and swimming back. You would have been attacked by a shark.
Shark, they probably would have been swept out to sea.
Yep.
It would have been better to stay in the boat. Stay in the boat and try to signal somebody.
Or every single boat I've ever been on has had oars.
Usually, yeah. Like, or at least just you go on that side, I'll go on this side. Use one arm to paddle.
Yeah.
That would probably get you a ways somewhere. Yeah, holding onto a body, it just.
Yeah, and again, him being in that ocean for that long, that salt water would have excessively enhanced the bloating and the stench.
The body would just be disgusting by this point.
Yeah.
But they get back there, and then his ex-gardener shows up, some guy he owes like $90 to.
Oh, yeah.
And then another dude shows up. He was the guy that was cleaning at the stairs. I remember him now. And Richard knocks them both out. Then the hitman shows up, kills him for a third time.
Yeah, shoots him, and
Like
there's no
6
blood,
times.
and he's like, And then he tries to shoot Richard and Larry.
Out of bullets.
Yeah.
This one's not empty, though. This guy's terrible. So he's
Yeah.
like laughing at them, like, and they run away, and he's like, I'll get you. And he's like shooting from the hip.
Yeah.
Missing like crazy.
He has a worse shot than a stormtrooper.
I'm going to check the perimeter.
Pew, 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 pew. Ah!
Did you know that if you have an iPhone and you send another person with an iPhone the message pew pew, it'll apparently make laser sounds on the other phone. Yeah, like full on Star Wars, like pew, pew. I can't do the sound.
No.
Yeah.
Pew, pew, pew. Pew, pew. I did not know. I don't know any two people who have an iPhone.
Yeah, I haven't had an iPhone in a while.
Yeah.
So okay, this guy, he gets a nut shot because
Oh,
Bernie's
yeah.
not done yet.
Yeah,
Moves
dead
his leg.
Bernie.
Dead Bernie leg hits him back in the fucking nuts.
And then he's like, "You're alive!" Like, no. Really?
This guy's
Really?
really bad.
You're so fucking dumb.
So the cops show up. After that, they're finally taking pictures of the crime scene and shit. And who brought this straight jacket for the
For
hitman?
that guy? Yeah. Why would you just have a straight jacket on hand?
Like they don't. So I'm like, this is just. I
Yeah.
know it's an '80s movie, but it's just
But
so
it's too
poorly,
much.
so poorly done. And then of course at the end they leave the body up on top of the fucking
And it gets knocked down and
all the way onto the beach.
Yep.
Right behind them, they're like, hey Bernie, see you tonight. And they're like, what? Ah! They run away, and that stupid little shit kid comes back and is like, can I bury you, mister?
yeah.
Sweet. Like,
Sweet.
this kid's going to be a psycho when he grows up. He needs a straitjacket.
Yeah. Burying people, shooting
And
people.
then that was the end.
then
The
that's
credits
it.
roll.
And then apparently I looked it up, there's a weekend at Bernie's too.
Is.
He's brought back with voodoo or some shit,
I
and
can't
they're
remember.
trying to clear their name, so obviously they get caught.
Oh, I don't
or
want to watch that.
something. No, no,
Maybe. Probably not, though.
probably not. Unless it's one of your picks.
No, it never will be. I gave this movie 4 80s long butts out of 10 I used to give it 3. 3 80s long butts out of 10 Bond villain-esque beach houses. Because the writing was weak. The cinematography was okay. The characters were unlikable. These people that live in the Hamptons are all shitty.
Yep.
And they just kind of beat the hell out of the same joke, the same gag through the whole, like, just him. It's like, okay, it was funny a little bit, but for another hour, I'm like, ugh, this is just weak.
I know.
It's really weak. And it's just super slapstick. Like, I remember watching it I kind of remember watching it as a kid thinking it was funny. But yeah, you watch it as an adult and you're like,
that's fucked up.
None of this would happen. And yeah, it's really dark to think like,
Yeah.
2 people could do this.
Yeah.
Like that's horrible. That's like convincing someone to murder someone with you, basically.
Yeah.
And being like, let's not tell anybody.
No.
It's like, no, one of you is going to crack and go crazy. One of them should have been like, and like it should have been Richard, the sensible one. Because it's so like that dynamic with the 2 characters just wasn't extreme enough.
No.
It was
And it
kinda
didn't
weak.
seem like they were friends.
No.
Like,
Well, everybody has a friend like that
True.
is always late and pisses you off and annoys you, and you're just like, why am I friends with you?
very true.
Ugh. But you keep being friends with that person.
Yeah.
What have we got? We've got
this.
Cabin Fever 2016.
Yes!
There was another Cabin Fever?
Yeah, not the Eli Roth one. The shitty one.
So this one's after the Eli Roth one?
Yeah, the Eli Roth one was in like 2002 with Ryder Strong from Boy Meets World.
Oh, I remember that guy.
That one was like good. This one is fucking bad.
Interesting. I'm stoked. Can't wait. All right. Well, that was Weekend at Bernie's. Find us on YouTube. Anywhere you get your podcast. Subscribe, hit the like button, share it.
Yeah.
If you like what we're doing, yeah, keep listening. We appreciate you guys. We're in your ears. It's cool. I read this thing the other day. It's like, if they're listening to you with headphones, then it's more intimate than anything else.
We're
I'm like,
inside of you.
ears right now.
We're in your earballs.
How you doing, Kevin? I don't know if anybody that listens is named Kevin, but he might be like, whoa, I'm good.
Holy shit! Also, apparently Google Play Music is going away and being rolled into YouTube Music at the end of September or something. So I'm going to do some digging and see if their YouTube has podcasts, because you can find us on Google Play podcasts right now. But I'm going to see if YouTube Music is also going to have podcasts, because
That'd be cool.
hopefully, because otherwise we're losing one of our platforms.
That's true. Son of a bitch. They probably will.
Yeah.
YouTube has everything.
That's true.
It's becoming everything. All right, let's call it there. Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
This is Real Garbage.